everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Sorry, I have been away and sick and what can I say? All sorts of things happening. So yeah, it's been a bit of a thing, but I'm back. I'm hopefully going to get back into routine of twice a week. Sorry, I'm just trying to get you some tunes here. Yeah, hopefully be back, and I'll be back to twice a week. I have been doing some extra stuff here and there, so it's been busy. It's been it's been real. But yeah, so hopefully, yeah, and then I should be back on Friday again as well, and that's hopefully we'll be back into routine of twice a week like we were doing so well last year. But, having said that, I just want to just take out get my chat just in case somebody is in to say how's it, and then I can see what they're saying to me. If anybody does come in, please say how's it. Type in the chat, say hello. Love to hear from you. I'm going to switch off that camera and my logo so that you can have the full view of what I am doing here. So let's just switch that off all now. Okay, so today I am going to show you how to create a 2D. And like I say, I don't do stuff most of the time. I don't do stuff from molds or anything like that. A lot of the time I just, create it myself, and if I need a template or something, I create it myself. So I have to create this cute little fairy, but so this is actually this is a laser cut. So this is actually wooden, but the customer wants an edible one, so I'm going to do an edible one for her. So I'm going to go as far as I can today. The main, I'm going to do pretty much all of it, call it 99%. The only part that I'm not going to do is the wire part, because one, I need to get new wires and I've run out. And two, this needs to dry before I can put the wire on anyway. So I need it to dry, so I'm going to do it now so that I can let it dry. So because I'm going to use this as because this is what they want, I'm going to use this as my little template. So, I'm cutting her skirt off, okay? But we're obviously going to put it all, and everything is going to be edible besides the wire that we're going to use. I need to check to see if the customer wants me to put a number 4 like that on her, but I don't think so, because they were thinking of doing a 3D topper and they decided to go with a 2D. So we're just going to use her as a base. So just so that I've got something to go by. So you can see she's going to be quite petite and fragile, because she's meant to be 10 centimeters deep. So I know it doesn't look like it, but now I'm looking at it. I did measure it. Yes, so she is 10 centimeters big. So that's quite it's good enough to be on top of a topper. On top of a cake, 15 centimeter or 20. Just going to cut these bits out. So, and then we'll also do the little she's got a little bow on her. And so obviously, because this is a wood laser cut topper, the little tutu is made out of material we're not going to do that. We're going to do it also out of gum paste. And then she's got a little bow and a ribbon, so we can do that as well. And we'll do that in 2 different shades of pink. And then the rest of her, the little fairy is actually in gold. So she's in sparkly gold. But we're gonna do the base of all of this in white. And yeah, we're gonna do the base of her in white, and then go from there. So I just want to move this over so you can see what's going on. Yeah. This shouldn't take too long to make. Right. So I'm going to do majority of the whole base of her is going to be in white, and then and I'm going to use a white wire so that you don't see it. But what I'm going to do is when we're done and she's nice and dry, I'm then going to take a little bit of gum paste, form a tube, and you know, smooth it up nicely, and then insert the wire in that tube along this along her leg and the center of her, so that she's nice and sturdy and she can stand up straight. So that's what we will do. That's what I will do once she is dry, but obviously I cannot do that today because she's not going to be dry and she's going to flop over, and because it's 2D and it's you know, it'll be fairly fragile, fairly thin. I'm not going to make it as, when I say thin, it's going to be thinnish, you know what I mean? You can't make it super thick or anything. It's not like a 3D topper. So let's just roll this out nicely. So I'm going to say we're going to make it nice and thick, probably like what, half a centimeter thick. Okay, so it's still thick, it's just not, you know, it's not super thin, but it's obviously not super thick either. Okay, so that's nice and thick. You must make sure it's all even. You can feel if there's a spot here that's thinner than up here, or you know, you can just roll it out nicely. We're going to pop that on like that. And we're going to use our knife, our extremely sharp knife, to cut her down. And you've got to be careful because it can pull, and then you know, you're going to distort her by the way it pulls. So I like to go from the inside out like this, because that way I can take off nicely and not have any issues. Just smooth out any areas so that it's not rough. Try not to drag your knife, because if you drag your knife it'll pull, and you only want it to pull in the corners or tips that so like here, because you want the toe to be pointing, you can drag and pull it because you want it to go pointy. So I'm probably going to make this little one skirt, you know, her little tutu, a little bit bigger than what's on here, but I want that base for it to sit on. Okay. So I always go from the inside like that, and then we go around so that we can cut it nice. And I do it in sections so that it's now like a little hand. You want a little bit more petite than that. You don't want it to look like she's got this hulking hand. And just cut it nicely. And you want it to obviously have definition. So what you can do also is you just use your tools to neaten it up. So this little bit is going to be a little bit tricky because there's an inside piece that we need to pull out. And we don't want to pull the thin pieces and distort them. That's always the biggest thing with this kind of stuff, like this that I'm doing. These little thin pieces can get distorted and then it doesn't look nice at all. So there you go. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pick her up. I'm going to pick her up from her head, because that's the thickest part of her and the widest and not the most delicate. If you pick it up by the arms or the legs, you're going to land up distorting. You're going to land up distorting her, and we don't want to do that. So we're going to lie her flat, put her on some baking paper so that she doesn't stick, for her to dry, because then it'll be easier to pull off. So I'm just going to tidy up pieces that are almost like, looks like fraying, and just to define any areas. See, while it's still quite soft, and so that it looks more like a little hand pointing and a little foot pointing. Make sure this leg is obviously absolutely straight, because you're going to need your wire to be absolutely straight as well. Okay. So and we're going to pop her on. I'm going to leave her like that on here, and I'm going to make her skirt. Oopsie. I'm knocking the camera. So I said we're going to do, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two shades. I'm going to make two little skirts, not two skirts, one little skirt, but I'm going to do a lighter shade of the skirt, and then so a lighter pink, and so I'm going to mix it with some white. An option that you could do, if you really wanted to, you could make the skirt out of gelatine, and so that it's see-through, but I'm not going to do that. But also with the gelatine, it's a whole process of creating gelatine and then having to let it dry until it's ready. I usually use the gelatine to make wings. So we're going to make a little skirt. What we're going to do with the skirt is we're going to try and roll it as super thin as possible. You can do a mix of fondant. This is gum paste, so a mix of fondant and diethyl superfine, which will allow you to have a very, very stretchy like gum paste that allows you to which allows you to stretch this and it won't break, and cut it as thin as you like. So I'm just going to do like a moon shape or half circle. This might be a little bit too big, but I'm going to pleat it. So when this dries, it will probably dry much lighter than this. I'm just going to check because I think that this is going to be a little too big. Okay, so because we want to put it there like that, but we're not going to make it flat. I'm going to pleat it up. So I think I'm just going to cut it a little bit smaller because I think it's a little too big. And then also I'm going to just thin out the ends, and it doesn't need to be perfect. You'll see it's not necessary for it to be absolutely perfect. So we'll thin it out like this with our fingers. You'll also see it'll also give it like a frilly look by doing that. And you'll see that it doesn't need to be perfect, because it's going to get pleated. We'll cut off any funny bits when we're done. So I'm purposely making it a little bit bigger, so that it can overlap, because also it's technically that's how it would look if it was the wood cut one. We just do the pleat all very pretty like this, and then we can just pleat it some more. So basically we're going to pleat it all the way around like that, so that it looks like she's got her little pretty pleated. Let's just tuck that pleat in there. Okay, I am going to use some flour glue to stick it down, but I just want to get the gist of this. Here's my scissors. So if you really want to make it round nicely, you can just use your scissors and cut it so that it's finished off much nicer than being in a weird and you can make it thinner on the ends to make it more okay. So my thing now is that I actually need to do the gold bit. So I've got some gold already sitting somewhere. Let me just quickly go get it. So we're going to use some gold. I'm going to paint it on. We're going to use some quick dry, because this is dried up and now it's back to being powder form. So we put a little bit of quick dry on it. Just use that away. I have a brush that's already got some gold on it, and we're going to just mix the quick dry in with some of the powder. Sometimes you can make it as thick and thin as you like, but obviously you want it like in a medium kind of texture, because if it's too thin, then you've got to do a double coat. If it's too thick, you can't actually use it. So I want to move that a little closer so that you can see better, because it's all about you being able to see what's spotting here. Okay, so she's basically gold all round, so we're gonna just paint her gold. And then what I'll do once she's dry and I put my wire on, I will just paint the other side gold all round as well. And I'll probably do another skirt on the other side, just so that she's got a front and back to her. Otherwise, it'll look, for me, a bit strange and not finished off. So what I do on the front is what I'll do on the back. But I want her to dry completely before putting the wire on. So I will only be able to put the wire on tomorrow, when she's dried out completely. And it's fine if I put a little bit of gold there, because we're going to cover it with the pink skirt and the ribbon. And then what I'm probably going to do as well is dust the skirt so that the skirt is also nice and shiny, because she's all gold and shiny, so why can't the rest of her be? I feel like her skirt and that need to be shiny and gold as well. I mean, shiny and sparkly. And you can make it as, you know, sometimes what you can do is you can leave it to dry and then put another layer on, so then it's even, you know, more like solid with it, with the gold. That's why if you put if you make it a thin paint, then you might need to do a second coat. And this is quick dry. It's got the quick dry. The reason why it's called quick dry is it allows this paint to dry quite quickly. And apparently, and I've never tried it because I always buy the quick dry, is that if you didn't have quick dry, you could use vodka. If you had vodka in your house or in your shop or wherever you are. Yeah. So I'm going to leave her there to dry, and then I might just do the dusting now, because then I can just stick it on. So I've got two different pinks. I have a flitter pink, and then I have this lovely other pink that's got glitter in it. So I'm going to oh, this is a bit dark. Let me get the lighter one. So the skirt I'm going to do in this lighter pink while this is drying. So these are all my shimmers and my shiny pinks and colors that I love using for things like this. And it just gives it that oomph and that lift that it needs to make it extra special. So we're just gonna, so this time I didn't use the quick dry. I'm just dusting it. I like doing different, I like to use dusting like this. It sometimes just gives it a better look than to do it like that with the quick dry. I feel sometimes it gives it a more even look. So that's that one. So what I'm going to do is with the bow, I'm going to I've got a dusting that has like this beautiful glitter in it, which is pretty awesome. So we're just going to pop a little bit of glue along the end here, all around here actually, because I don't want it to come off. But because this is so thin, we want it to dry nicely. Okay, and we can put it on like that. So we can pop the skirt, the tutu on like that, and we can just tuck it in where we need to tuck it in. So it's still obviously quite thin, I mean soft, because it's not dry. Okay, that's our little skirt. Then we're going to make a bow with the darker color. I don't actually know. I don't think it's going to make any difference really with me doing the dusting. So we're going to roll this out and make a very thin bow. Also, here in Cape Town, we have wet winters, and that could prove to be quite a challenge. So in winter, I always request that people give me extra time to make these things, because they take a little longer to dry because of the weather. So I'm just going to cut those down like that, because we're not going to need that. And then just roughly, because you really don't need, it doesn't need to be perfect. We're just going to cut, I'm going to do about 1/2 centimeter wide. I'm going to do 3 of them just in case, but I don't think I'm going to need all 3. But just in case one tears or something to that effect. Okay. So the one we're going to take and we're going to put on the line of her skirt, of her little tutu. So we'll just put one there. I just want to separate them now, because then or else I'm not, when they start to dry. We're going to work with this a little bit quickly, because obviously it does start to dry even though it doesn't set dry. But obviously it dries enough for it to crack. So we put a bit of glue along the line there, so that we can put her going to, and then we're going to just take a pair of scissors and we're going to cut the end off. And we'll tuck it in. And obviously we want our bow to be the same thickness, which is why I've cut 3 of them. It's roughly the same width. Sorry, my one tool dropped on the floor. Let's pick it up. Okay. So now we're just going to create a little bow, which generally is not that difficult. So we can, and I'm just going to have it where it has a bit of a tag. So what you can do it so that it crosses like that. Okay. My hands are crumbling today. Okay, and then you can just pop a little bit of glue. But like when I say a little bit, I mean like a really minuscule amount, just to kind of get things to stick. You can put her bow there, like that. And then I'm just going to put a little bit there, because what we're going to do is we're going to just put that crossbow bit where, that's it, like the little knot part of the bow, which you can tuck in. And just tuck it in a bit. Finish with the bow and the dress and the skirt. And then we're going to shimmer that up with extra sparkles, because this has like some serious sparkles, this one. But I'm going to use I'm going to put a little bit of, I'm going to do it with quick dry, because I don't want it, so as you can see, this makes a whole lot of dusting mess. Yeah, so if you use the quick dry, it's not going to do that. And I don't know if you can see, this one's got a lot of glitter in it, but we don't need a lot. Don't need a lot of that. So, and then we'll just use a little bit of quick dry. And this is basically like dusting with a little bit of glitter already mixed in. And we're just going to dab it on here. Got new paint brushes, which is really awesome. So let me try one of those new paint brushes with this, because it's quite delicate. So you can do all this painting when it's wet still, like this, when it's well, not wet, but you know, when it's still soft. But you can also do it, you can wait for it to dry. Because sometimes if you haven't waited, you know, if you don't wait for it to dry, then you'll change its shape, you know, if you're not careful enough. I just want a subtle difference. So this one's got a lot more glitter in it, and it's a little bit darker. So I just want to have a subtle difference in what it looks like, but not a massive difference in the from the tutu to the bow. See, let me fix that now. Okay, so this is pretty much it. Like that's how quick I it's not a long live, and I knew it wasn't going to be very long to do this. So yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave this to dry, and by tomorrow by tomorrow afternoon I should be able to stick the little so what I'll do is I'll turn this over because it'll be totally dry. I'll be able to turn this over, flip it over, and then I'll make a nice thin little tube that I'll glue with the sugar glue at the back of her with the wire in it, which will come all the way down here, so that that wire bits, this will touch the cake, the wire will go into the cake, and then on the other side I'll paint her all gold just so that it finishes it off and she looks okay, so that we know that this is definitely the front and not the other way. So we don't want to confuse which is the front and which is the back, but I don't want it white on the back, so I'm going to make it gold at the back as well once it's totally dry and I've done that stick back. But that is it. Quick and easy, not too difficult. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I hope you did. Please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so that you can get notifications for when I'm live or uploading new videos. There's always something going on generally, but that will be me. Hope to see you on Friday. Bye.